He is flying around up there. It is a full stadium, and he's still up there, as you can tell. A full stadium, so maybe he just couldn't get a ticket.
And that's where Pete Sampras is so dangerous. If you don't get him out really wide, where he's totally out of stretch here, if you just get him extended, this is where he's at his best. He can generate a lot of power just with a very short backswing.
Got that one out very wide. Good play. Deuce again.
Yeah, you either got to swing him out really wide, where he has a tough time to come over the ball, but if you just miss-hit that wide serve a little bit, Fred, he can really come over and drill it with a lot of power. Great forehand from Pete Sampras.
Big moment here for Edberg. He has got to hold on here, or the first set's history. He's down a break already.
Well, he's faced a break point on every one of his service games, Edberg.
Just doesn't have the bite on his serve that a guy like Sampras or a Steek or an even Ivanovic does, and this one was treated rather easily, wasn't it?
Pretty short, and Sampras was able to come over the top of it.
Sampras has broken once. Look at all the chances that he's had. In fact, Edberg has had 4 so far. But they were all in the same game, weren't they?
Yep.
Edberg keeps his hopes alive in this game.
And another thing that's really been hurting Stefan Edberg in this match, he's only serving 45% first serves in. I mean, normally he's around the 65% to 70% range, and if he's only serving 45% first serves, that means Pete Sampras is getting a look at a lot of second serves.
.62% for Sampras and Edberg. In fact, he says he's got to be up at 70%.
70%, yeah. You've got to get a lot better today. I think he's going for a little too much because he respects that return of serve from Sampras. Both these players have a lot of respect for one another. And when you do that, you start to press a little bit and miss a few. He didn't even come into the net behind that one.
Yep, that was a good shot from Sampras. That running forehand for him seems to be as easy as the one where he's standing still. Watch this.
Just to give you an idea of how much Stefan Edberg does rely on his net game as we watch this replay again. In his 3 matches, he's won 172 points, and 122 of those points have been won from the net position. That's 70% of the points that have been won. Edberg knows that he foot faults. And this is foot fault number 3, and over his entire career I still can't understand why he doesn't step back 2 or 3 inches or 6 inches even. It's not going to make that much difference to his serve.
He seemed, you know, at the end of the match, you talked to him about, he seems to be kind of level-headed about the foot faulting business, but you know it aggravates him when he gets called for foot fault, if not with the person who's calling it, with himself for doing it. It's just, it's really inexcusable. Game point.
That's just too good.
And also you find that in big matches like this semifinal versus #1 seed and the third seed, the umpires and the linesmen are a bit on edge too, so they're a little jumpy. I mean, it's a big occasion, big match. So I think they have a tendency to call some of those foot faults a little bit more in a match like this than, say, in the early rounds.
Plus, if they have a confrontation, they get on television.
That first serve, he just can't buy a first serve, can he?
That's a great serve into the body. That is a perfect serve into the body. You can see Sampras there trying to get out of the way so he can have a swing at it.
Look at the difference between those two. See, nearly 70% for Edberg against Cahill, and today's way down.
As John McEnroe would say, that's respect.
Boy, has this been a long game or what? As I remember it, when he played Santoro, he was at 70% on first serves, and then the first round against Black, he was up there as well. So his first serve percentages are down, and as you both pointed out, it's because he's got playing against somebody who's in really a different category. In fact, he's in a different category to almost anybody now.
This is, look, you can see Edberg's going crazy here. He can't get that first serve in, and he's down 4-1. This is a big game for him. 7 deuces.
He called it wide. And Edberg doesn't like that one.
Don't think I'd like that one very much either.
I'd like to see the replay on that one.
It looked as though it jumped right on the line.
I think this is one of the few times the replay will show that this ball was in. Did play it a little bit with a bit of hesitation, but that was clearly in. And one of the few times you'll see Stefan Edberg strongly question the call.
If he so much as looks at the umpire, it's strongly questioning a call because he is so gentle out there. But this is break point.
Well, this service game has really been a struggle for Stefan Edberg. He's looked totally out of sync.
A lot of players, though, Vitas, let's face it, down 4-1 and a break and problems like this that say, hey, forget this, we'll go into set number 2. This man is fighting. If he wins this to get to 4-2, he's only down that 1 break, and he figures, hey, I've had some break point opportunities on the Sampras serve. I'm still in there.
Very nice. Closed that gap very well. He knew that Sampras really only had one way to go and got there in plenty of time for the open court volley.
Stefan Edberg here angles this volley, and it's a great volley, but look at the court coverage he has to get because Sampras anticipated that, played the slider down the line. You can see Edberg's pretty happy with that, more so getting the first serve in, I think, than anything else.
Another first serve, and the crowd appreciate the fact that Edberg held on. He's still down a break, though. It's 4-2 in the first set.
I think Fred made a great point of the way Stefan Edberg fights for all of his games. A lot of players would have already said, hey, I've struggled hard enough in this first set. Let's go to the second set. That's why this guy's won $16 million.
That's right.
On a tennis court.
I got to take you back to the U.S. Open a couple of years ago when he won. He beat Sampras in the final, remember? And then those matches that he had. I mean, that's what really made me realize this guy fights for every point. And it takes its toll on opponents. It really does.
And that was at a time when a lot of people, press and players, were questioning the real competitive spirit in Stefan Edberg, and that sort of quieted everybody down.
He was down to Lendl, down to Chang, down to Krajcik.
In the
break in the fifth set.
Yeah.
And he beat Sampras in 4 in the final.
Let's see what happens in this game. Just see if his fighting qualities are rewarded here, and Sampras then, this stage, says, hey, I had 3 or 4 or 5 break point opportunities that last game. I didn't do it. Now I'm looking down the barrel.
Pete Sampras was by far the most successful server on the tour in 1993, and the statistics show it. Over 1,000 aces, Fred.
82% of first serves won, and look at that second serve points won, 53%. You can't lose too many matches if you've got stats like that.
And also the break points saved, he was #1 in the world as well.
And also when you got a guy serving between 115 miles an hour to 123, 24 miles an hour on the first serve, and he's serving almost 60% first serve percentage. That's awfully high for a guy that's going for that